Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. It is mid-March and I thought that this was the perfect time to do a seedling tour for you guys of everything that I am growing so far. Now, if you are new to my channel, I grow cut flowers in zone 5A in Northwest Iowa. I have about 2 rounds of seed starting left to go. I haven't started any of our vegetables yet. My husband and I usually do that the end of March. We have quite a large garden here at our home that we grow all of our vegetables in. And then I have one more big round of seed starting for the cut flower garden, which will be all of those really heat-loving summer flowers like zinnias, cosmos, straw flowers, gomphrena, marigolds, all of those summer-loving flowers. So those usually are started around March 25th, and I will bring you guys along when I do that. But I thought it would be a good time to show you everything I have growing so far. So I am at home in my basement right now. I have 2 grow shelves behind me. This is where part of my seeds are. The rest are up at my studio. If you, again, are new to my channel, I've been a photographer for about 20 years, and I just started on this cut flower journey a couple years ago. And the land around my studio is where all of my cut flowers are grown. I have a neighboring lot that I purchased where there used to be a building that was torn down. That is where all of my cut flowers are currently grown. I have a huge parking lot space behind my building. That is where my hoop house is going up this spring, and additional growing space is going to be put in. And I will show you all of that. As soon as the frost is out, that will be going in, which I've seen some robins out. And once the robins get out, that means the frost is coming out of the ground. So it shouldn't be long. But anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and I want to start showing you all of the seeds that I have started. So I'll show you these 2 grow shelves first, and then we'll head back up to my studio. I have 2 more full shelves, plus some sitting in windows up there. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. Now I do have my grow lights turned off just so you guys can see me better. These grow lights are on a timer and they run for 15 hours a day, but I just shut them off so I could actually film this. So a lot of these right behind me here are Snapdragons. So this is a full tray of Snapdragons. This would be the Potomac Yellow, Potomac Ivory, and some Costa Apricot. This specific tray, I started quite a bit sooner than some of the others. And I do have videos where I started all of these so you can see my process and when exactly I started them. I also did a video, which I will link at the end of this video, where I went over my whole entire seed starting schedule. So if you're curious when I start everything, watch that video because I go over everything by date. But this Snapdragon tray is looking really good. This will go in the hoop house. Then this is a tray of Feverfew. It has 2 different kinds, the Magic Single and then the Snowball or White Snow Feverfew, whatever that's called. I only have a couple empty cells in this tray, and it's all looking really good. The first little leaves are starting to turn yellow and die off, which is totally normal. But all of the true leaves and the new growth are looking really nice and green. Feverfew was something I grew for the first time last year. I absolutely loved it. I definitely didn't have enough, and I don't think I could even ever have enough. So I'm starting multiple succession plantings of Feverfew. Okay, so this is another tray of Snapdragons. This I had some empty cells more than others, so I need to go through, and the ones that are in cells like where I have 2 or 3 Snapdragons, I just need to go through and transplant those into cells that don't have a plant, and then this will be a full tray. And you can see this little yellow flower here. This is a sticky trap. I have a little bit of a fungus gnat problem. I had 2 plug trays come in from Farmer Bailey, which I will show you. And I think those had some fungus gnats in it, which I think is normal, when you're getting things from growers like that. So I'm putting these sticky traps out. They're catching a lot of them. I don't see a lot of them flying around, so it's not a huge problem, but I'm hoping that these yellow stickies will take care of that. Okay, so my second shelf down, this is another tray of Snapdragons, again, that need to be transplanted so all the cells are full. And another tray of Snapdragons. and another tray of Snapdragons. That is all the Snapdragons I have. And this one again needs a little bit of transplanting to fill those cells too. Snapdragons are really easy to thin out and transplant like that. It does not hurt the seedlings at all. So I will probably do this project over the weekend. Actually, I was wrong. Another tray of Snapdragons. This is one that I have transplanted. You can see how nice and full it is. This is more Costa Apricot and Madame Butterfly mix. This is one of the earlier trays with the first one that I showed you I started that's going to be going in the hoop house. And they are looking perfect. Okay, now this is a tray of Lizzie Anthis, and they are scattered all throughout this tray. However, Lizzie Anthis are very small. They are starting to, push upward and start to curve. And so they're looking really good. I think maybe in the next week, I will go through and I will pluck these out and transplant them into maybe a 128 cell tray. I have another tray down here I'll show you, but just so they're all together, because I do have quite a few empty spaces, but I'm really happy with how these look. Now, these do not look like the plug tray that I got, which I will show you. But this will be a good second crop of Lizzie Anthis. Here's my other tray of Lizzie Anthis. Looking about the same as the last one. They're looking good. Okay, then on the bottom shelf of this grow shelf, I have 3 of these 24 cell trays. These are the Grow Ease trays from Gardener's Supply. And these are all flowers that I started, not for my cut flowers, but that I started for my planters that are out front of my business. I have 2 big groupings of planters, and then I have 2 10-foot window boxes. So I wanted to try to start a lot of those flowers from seed this year. So these are all petunias, and I also did a video where I showed how I planted these. Every single cell has growth in it, even some multiples. So when these get a little bigger, I will be thinning these out and then moving them up to 4-inch pots. That's what I did last year and it worked great. This cute little tray is all celosia. Oh my gosh, it is so cute. And these are the jade mix, and there are multiples in every cell. So I'm gonna have to go through and thin these out when they get a little bigger as well. And this tray has a couple of different things in it. These 2 rows are geraniums, which are so cute. I cannot wait to see how these grow. And then these 4 rows are all impatience. The window boxes that I have are really shaded, and it's been kind of a challenge to find things that grow in there that flower really well, because I do want to have that impact from the street. I have found that impatience work really good, and coleus, which is why I'm growing so much coleus, and then these impatience. And geraniums may work in there too, so I might try that this year, but these are all white impatience, and they're looking real good. Okay, let's move on to grow shelf number 2. All right, so this is one of the plug trays of stock that I got from Farmer Bailey. It is looking awesome. The yellowing leaves that you can see on here are the first leaves that usually die off. So I am not concerned about that at all, because all of the new growth that it is pushing is super, super healthy. So this is one tray. And this is the other tray. This corner somehow got dried out and did not absorb water when I bottom watered them. So I lost a few cells here, but I'll still have plenty of stock. It's looking really good. And this is a 3rd plug tray that I got from Farmer Bailey. This is their Lizzie Anthis. This is so big compared to my Lizzie Anthis, but I'm sure they started it way farther ahead of time because they ship them out. But those are looking so good. They could probably stand to be potted up. So I may do that in the next week or 2 just to get them growing a little more, but they're looking real good. Okay, so this tray is a tray of Chinese forget-me-not. And these, they germinate in total darkness. So I seeded these under the soil, and then I put them in a cabinet and had them in there about a week. almost forgot about them. I opened up the cabinet to get something out, realized they were in there, and every single cell had germinated with, they're mostly full of 2 plants. So I almost got 100% germination on this, which is just crazy. And they are looking so good. I cannot wait to see how this is for a filler flower this year. All right, couple more trays on the shelf. Actually, just one more tray. This is the tray of yarrow that I started. I have 3 different varieties here. It's all looking really good. Yarrow is something that I used a lot of last year. It's actually a perennial in my area, but I just felt like I needed more, especially now that I'm adding more beds to my area. So I started a full tray of yarrow, and I will probably use every bit of it. Also, one more thing about this Lizzie Anthis. If you watched my unboxing video, you saw that when I got these, half of them were dumped out and just completely out of their soil with their roots exposed because something happened in shipping. So they clearly rebounded just fine. All right, so those are all of the seedlings that I have here at home. Let's head back up to the studio and I will show you everything that I have on those grow shelves. All right, so I'm back up at the studio. I'm in my furnace room where my first grow shelf is here. It's a little cramped in here, but it actually works great. And this is where all of my ranunculus are. So look at these. They are so happy. They actually need watering right now. I find that I need to heavily water these every other day because they dry out so quickly. But they are looking so good. I really, really hope that in 2 weeks I'm able to get my hoop house up and get these planted out there right away, because as you know, ranunculus like cool conditions, and they really need to be planted out early spring. So I'm not gonna lift all of the trays off of the shelf and show them to you. I just wanna show you a couple. All of them pretty much look like this, except some of them have anemones in them. So let me show you one of those trays. Okay. Look how healthy this looks. So this tray is actually divided into 3 sections. This is one variety, this is another variety, and look at these anemones on the end. I mean, they look so happy. I really wish I could get them outside now, but they're clearly doing okay in here. So I'm just gonna keep watering them. I'm gonna water all of these today, and then as soon as I'm able to plant these out, I will do so. So I do have 3 trays of seedlings on this grow shelf, so let me show you those. These are actually still on heat mats. This first one is salmon asters. Looking pretty sad. I have trouble with asters every single year. I don't know what it is. I just have an awful time. If I get them planted in the ground, they just don't grow well for me. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like I have about 15 plants growing in here. And maybe they're just slow to germinate. I don't know. I need to water this again. I'm gonna keep it on the heat mat maybe another week, and then maybe take it off and just see what happens. If this doesn't go good, I think this is gonna be the last year I grow asters, because I just cannot figure it out for some reason. Do any of you have that problem? If you have a trick for asters, comment down below. I do see that I'm starting to get some algae on the top of these cells, but I don't think that that's the reason. There's just something going on. Okay, this tray, this is Craspedia. Also looking really sad. This is something else that I have failed to grow successfully. I have 4 plants in here. 4. I don't know. This is another one that I said I would try again this year, and if it didn't work, I was gonna give up on it. Okay, this tray, get all the moisture off of here. All right, this is all mountain mint, and it's probably a little hard to see, but there are a lot of cells that have plants that are germinating. Mountain mint is something I've never grown before. I wanted to try to grow it this year to be a filler. So that is purely what I'm growing this for, and I only started 1 tray of it just to see if I like it. So Let's hope some of these keep germinating and I get some nice filler out of it. I can see really, really tiny plants starting in some of the cells, so it must just take a little bit to germinate. Okay, that is it for the seed trays that are on this grow shelf. Let's head out and I'll show you the last one. Okay, so here is my last grow shelf. This one is completely full with no open spaces. I actually probably could use another shelf, but I'm banking on those ranunculus being able to be moved out, and then I will have that one free. So anyway, I'm just gonna start at the top and go down. These first two yellow trays, whoa, this one needs watering real bad. I better do that like right now. These are daisies and echinacea that I started from seed. I just started them like by the intensive method in these trays just for a space saver. This is the echinacea and had really good germination. This daisy did not have as good a germination as the others, maybe like 10 or so. I don't know. These are both perennials in my area, and I really just wanted to be able to add some more plants to my cottage garden to use for cut flowers. Okay, so the next thing on this top shelf are my Fama white pincushion flowers, and they are looking really, really good. I showed these to you guys in another video, and since then, a couple more have started popping through the soil, so that is really good. Some of these cells actually have 2 plants, and so I can transplant these into the empty cells, and then I will have a full tray. So the Fama whites are something that is a perennial in my area. So this will also be going into my cottage garden area along with the daisies and echinacea. And I am really hoping that these work out good because I have heard wonderful things about this flower for bouquets. And so if these go well this year, I hope to even plant more next year. And then every year I will just have this really nice stock of this perennial flower. Okay, so this is about ready to leave the grow shelf. These are my trays of stock that I thinned out, which that'll be the next tray that I show you, but I just wanted to leave these in a little bit longer to see if any more plants germinated, and they did. It looks like I have 4 more plants in here. So I will be taking these out and transplanting those. I might go ahead and do that today just so I can get this off the shelf. But let me show you where they're transplanted to. Oh, this needs watering too. I need to go through all my trays and water today. I might actually do some fertilizing today too. Anyway, this is the tray of stock that I have transplanted all those little seedlings to, and they are looking really good. So combined this with the 2 trays of plugs that I ordered, I'll have a nice little area of stock in my hoop house. Now, I didn't want to go overboard on stock this year because it's something that I haven't grown before. I just wanted to try it out, but I'm hoping that it will be something I really like. You'll notice this section is a little sparse. That's the Cott's apricot. I think that seed was a couple years old. Germination was horrible on that. So that is why there are so many empty cells there. I even started more seed in a separate tray. Nothing. So I think that seed was just done for. Oh well, that's okay. I'll have a good amount of stock this year. Okay, so second shelf down. This is the tray from my grow along. These are the Potomac Royal Snapdragons, and then this is the Magic Single Feverfew, looking really good. Feverfew is all sprouting really good, and of course the Snapdragons, you can see they're getting a little bit tall, but they'll be fine. These lights do not have as long of chains as the other lights that I bought last year, which was disappointing. So these are up a little higher. So some of these that are starting to get a little tall, once I can rearrange that ranunculus shelf, I might move these in there where I can lower the lights a little better and then keep some taller things here. But you know, they'll be absolutely fine. Because once Snapdragons get to a certain point anyway, I'll go through and pinch them and then they'll start branching out. Okay, so I have one 24 cell tray that's actually still on the heat mat. And this is more impatience. And these are really slow to germinate. I have quite a few plants that are about this height, and then some that are just sprouting that are really teeny tiny. This is a different kind of impatience than the ones that I have on my other grow shelf that are looking really good. So it must just be the type that germinates a little different, but I'm leaving this because I want to just see if I can get a few more to germinate. Okay, then this tray, these are all of my dahlias. So I have some 4-inch pots in here. These are the tubers that I was taking cuttings off of. Soon I need to pot these up into bigger pots so that these plants can just start growing on like they want to, and I will have early dahlias. Then the other little pots, these are the little 2-inch pots. Let me see if I can hold one a little more facing you guys. Whoa. These are the cuttings that I took that I put into those plugs, and every single one has survived and is looking good. That is a first for me. Last year I used soil and I had about 50-50. I must not have kept the moisture correct. This year I used those Root Riot plugs, 100%. So I definitely will be using those again next year. All right, these trays towards the bottom are a little newer in my seed starting. This tray, which pretty much looks empty to you guys, these are my Bells of Ireland, and I can put a close-up of this one on the screen. These Bells of Ireland are the ones that I'm starting in that paper towel method, and as I see them sprout, I'm transplanting them into the cells. And it looks like they're all starting to come up. These are getting pretty leggy, so I think I'm gonna have to put these down a little bit lower, or put the light down a little bit lower, and then maybe pop these down into the soil a little more. But I am really happy to actually have some Bells of Ireland germinating. If they're gonna be this tricky for me, I think that next year I may end up ordering a plug tray of them, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, these next 2 trays are still on the heat mat. This is a tray of minionette, and it looks like I'm starting to get some pop up. Minionette is something I've never grown before, but I'm hoping it'll be a really nice filler, so I wanted to try that. This is the white minionette. This is half minionette and half honeywort. Oh, and some feverfew on the end because I had some open cells. So I see about 2 honeywort coming up is all. And the white minionette is starting to pop through, and the feverfew looks like it's just starting to pop through. These I literally started the end of last week, so they'll start coming. I bet I'll see some good germination the first of next week. All right, so this tray's looking pretty good. This is Amazon dianthus, something that I have never grown before. I saw Nicole from Flower Hill Farm grow this last year, and I thought they looked like beautiful plants. So I have one little 4x4 bed reserved for this, and that should fit these plants perfectly. This is a tray of half ageratum, which are looking awesome, and half Dusty Miller. And I don't know if Dusty Miller is just really slow, but I'm finally starting to see some germination on the Dusty Miller. I can buy the Dusty Miller that I use in 6-packs, but I chose to try to start it from seed this year. The Dusty Miller I don't use in my wrapped bouquets because it just doesn't get tall enough, but that end of the season market that I do, where I do all the little jelly jars, I use Dusty Miller as filler in that, and the height is perfect for it. So if I don't get a lot of plants off of my germination, it's okay, I can buy it at a nursery this spring. Okay, and at the very bottom, this is the baggie and the paper towel that I have some Bells of Ireland in. So I will probably check this to see if anything else is happening in there today. And this tray, oh gosh, this looks dry. What is this? Oh, this is more of my grow along. This is the summer berries. Yarrow. I see germination in about every single cell, although it needs watered. So I'm gonna have to go through all my trays and water them today, but that's looking really good too. So I have a couple trays in the windowsill. I just wanna show you those. So let me go grab one of them real quick. Okay, so these 2 trays are both the same. This is the one that's more full. These are not cut flowers. These are strawberry roots. So I ordered 2 packs of strawberry roots, or is that what you call them? Bare root strawberries, because I wanted to expand our strawberry patch this year. They came in a bag, and I just thought they needed to be potted up because they already had growth on them. So I potted them up the end of last week and they're looking good. I think there's two of them that maybe the green growth has died back, so they might have been a little too far gone, but these 2 trays are sitting in my windowsill because I don't think they need to be under grow lights. I think the window light is just fine. So this will be really fun to get planted out in the spring as well. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing everything I have under my grow lights right now. And like I said, I have more cut flowers and all of our vegetables to start, so I will probably show you when I do that. And then hopefully I can get that hoop house started. So I will definitely be taking you along for that. So anyway, stay tuned for a lot more this spring. We'll see you soon.